Luka Doncic, the Wonder Boy, the swaggy hoops kid from Real Madrid. First of his name and king of the angles.
Titles.
You'll be unsurprised to hear me say that Luka Doncic is already one of the most popular rookies in NBA history. His style of play, his confidence, his flashy antics, he's taken the league by the lapels and won it over with his charm. But is he actually any good? Is he fat? Are we all overreacting? This is the Rookie Midterm, a series where we revisit and assess the early returns of some of the most prominent faces from the loaded 2018 NBA draft. In part 1, we're going to take a closer look and chart the year 1 progress thus far of one Mr. Luka Doncic. Luka's pace and style of play have, to this point, translated brilliantly to the NBA. He's been put in the position to produce, with a usage rate that's steadily climbed over the first half of the season. He's posted averages of 20.8 points per game on 6.9 of 15.9 shots, 7.1 total rebounds, 5.5 assists, and he's shooting 34.8% from 3, with an effective field goal percentage of 50.9%. Among rookies, he's the leader in points, he's second in assists, second in defensive rebounds, third in steals, and he's registered 3 triple-doubles. No other rookie has posted a triple-double this season. Here's something. In NBA history, only 3 rookies have averaged 20 or more points, 6 or more rebounds, and 5 or more assists. Those men are named Oscar Robertson, Michael Jordan, and Luka motherflippin' Doncic. Watching Luka operate in the pick and roll is like watching a pro angler finesse their lure in the water for a bite. Much like James Harden, his steady ball skills and size enable him to be very deliberate. By keeping the pace at his comfort level, he's bringing you into his world and making you live in it. This allows him to size up his playmaking targets. He's already a fantastic skip passer, he's savvy threading pocket passes, and if he has a lob-catching tool at his disposal, he can spoon-feed just about anyone that's tall and can catch. Most importantly though, Luka is eons ahead of his age group in terms of the consistency and the quality of his decision-making. As a shot creator, Luka's north-south shiftiness is what sets him apart. According to P3, a sports science lab in Santa Barbara, California, Luka tested above the average NBA wing in terms of deceleration, and it's his weapon of choice when he needs to create his own shot. He's constantly working to get the high ground on his defender, and once he has it, he cuts their legs off. He's also on pace to become one of the better foul-drawing players in the league. Luka might just be scratching the surface of his potential as a shooter. His adjustment to the NBA 3 has been gradual, and he's progressively getting more comfortable shooting off the catch or off the dribble. To this point, 46% of Luka's three-point attempts are being taken off the dribble, and he's hitting on 33% of them. There aren't many areas to gripe about in terms of his mechanics, and the flight of his ball seems to be consistently soft, even when he's moving backwards. I could easily see Luka adding a 40+% three-point weapon to his arsenal, further extending his already potent offensive impact on the game. I know. Mavs fans are probably jumping into each other's arms and frantically waving their signed Eduardo Najera foam fingers, thinking that they've pulled the coup of the century by swiping a superstar. While this is probably the case, take it easy for a minute. There are some concerns. Luka's lack of lateral or vertical explosiveness is showing up on both ends in the NBA. On offense, he lacks elasticity or creativity finishing around the rim, often forcing him to stop short and rely on floaters, which he does well. But smarter defenders are figuring out when and where to sit on his preferred one-on-one moves, and that is going to force him to evolve. On defense, these challenges are going to require some real work in terms of focus and approach. In his first season, like many rookies, he's more or less being relegated to being off the ball in the role of a help defender that occasionally gets his hands in the right place at the right time for a deflection. Right place at the right time is the operative idea here. Since he doesn't have corrective tools as a defender, things like plus wingspan, elite speed or explosiveness, extreme size, once he's beaten, he is done. His body can only improve so much, so he'll have to sharpen his intuition for the NBA game. He's going to have a lot to learn to become a credible defender. He just can't afford not to. Liga ACB and the EuroLeague are not crummy leagues by any stretch. but the best athletes playing basketball play in the NBA. I hypothesize that this is affecting Luka's confidence guarding ball handlers in space, and that he's still in the adjustment phase here. He gets back cut way too often, and his footwork in on-ball situations seems uncertain and haphazardly calculated, causing him to be in an odd position and get blown by. He's also a minor inconvenience at the rim. The optimist view, though, would be to look at his understanding of angles on the offensive end and say he's capable of mirroring that on defense. He has that type of basketball IQ. His anticipation and familiarity with the American game will only improve, so the onus will be on Luka to put in the work there. Also, I don't see Doncic allowing himself to remain a total liability on defense. He's a proven unselfish player with a very, very competitive personality, something that's been steadily revealing itself over the course of the year, often in hilarious ways.
Who is kicking themselves? Who is kicking themselves, baby?
Really, we've only got 3 teams to talk about, right? Outside observers are going to associate Doncic and Trae Young for their entire careers, but this Highlander idea of
there can be only one
is idiotic. Trae has been quietly very good this season, and with his skill set, he only stands to become more lethal as talent fills in around him. Travis Schlenk, who for years harassed Marty McFly about being late for class, probably sleeps like a baby. For the Kings, it's easy to make this a Marvin Bagley versus Luka thing. The difference between a guy like Bagley and a guy like Luka is that with Bagley, you have to wonder how he fits with your roster. With Luka, you start figuring out which of your current guys fit with him, and you start figuring this out right after you draft him. The Suns have a lot of arguments out of this one, but they're starting to wobble. Hey, when there's a 7'1" Bahamian Adonis that runs like a deer and can shoot the ball fluidly and has a 43.5-inch vertical, you have to take him, right? Even still, there's something in the gut that is just not right. I worry that the Suns drafted the idea of Ayton rather than who he actually happens to be. This could be twice in a calendar year that the Mavs have finagled unlikely deals to land generational talents. It's just unfathomable. Hey, maybe it'll work out for them. Maybe they know something that we don't. But the Knicks seem like that person on Craigslist that you hope to find once in a lifetime that's impatiently looking to get rid of a 1959 Les Paul with a crackly volume knob because they think they're going to be landing a Gibson sponsorship soon. I've never had that exact scenario happen, but the Knicks give me hope that it could. If Porzingis is healthy, here's a flaming hot take. He and Luka could become one of the more fearsome young offensive duos the league has seen in a while, and one hell of an NBA jam combo. I'm not 100% convinced that the blend will be seamless out of the gate, and defensively it could be an utter catastrophe, but the primary elements of the situation suggest that Luka likes to have rim-running targets and guys that can hit catch and shoot threes, and it helps if those targets are 7'3". For the Mavs, this is a no-brainer. Since the pick that the Mavs sent to Atlanta is top 5 protected in a draft that appears to be weak, you'd think that Dallas would begin to aggressively experiment with the pieces that remain to determine who will be a part of the plan going forward. For a team that's been searching for a path in the post-Dirk era, this is an incredible sequence of events to have break your way. It's difficult to imagine not giving Luka Doncic an A+ on his midterm. I, like many others, am of the opinion that Luka Doncic is a special type of player, and there's a specific reason why. If a team is like a computer and players are like computer parts, I think that Luka is of the motherboard variety. Once you have a piece like that, the potential benchmarks of the team climb to a higher level. His combination of size, skill, and temperament are just incredibly difficult to come by. In my opinion, if someone like Luka becomes available, you do whatever you have to do to get them. He's culturally and schematically infectious. Some of the most successful and beloved players ever to play the game have had this combination of traits. I see the clouds rolling in and the basketball gods taking aim to strike me dead for blaspheming, but I'll reiterate what I said in the summer. I strongly suspect that Luka is this type of player. Because of his skill level, because of his unflappable moxie as a closer, and because I think talent is going to gravitate to play around him, the first half of his rookie year has done very little to dissuade me from thinking that big things are ahead for Luka Doncic. Let me know if you agree.